you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest gas?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Whew, another Monday morning in the saddle. Gotta say, right out of the box, I am flying solo today. My partner in crime, Amy Houde. Usually she's got hour number 2 locked down with me, and she is sick. Called me about an hour ago and literally sounded like she was on her deathbed. So for the first time in like a year and a half, I am flying solo. But lucky for you listeners, she called in sick on a day that we have a stacked guest lineup. I mean, you're not getting this in any other motorsports radio talk shows, guaranteed. Newly crowned UTV world champ, Mitch Guthrie Jr., he is on the line. We got Levi Lavallee coming off a big, massive win at Red Bull Snow Boundaries. We got the legend Ivan, the Ironman Stewart, he's going to be on the line. We got some Travis Pastrana sound bites we're going to play, supercross talk, you name it. We are locked and loaded today here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. I'm amped for it, and, we may throw in a little other fun as well. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about my weekend, and trust me, you want to hear this.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And, as you guys know, I like to promote my social media accounts a bit, but you never know what's going to happen. I've always said, if you want to chat with me during the show, Twitter is the place to do it. At JimBeaver15 on Twitter. Same as my Instagram handle, but case in point, here we go. Get ready to go live. And my buddy Jenna Jones, she's one hell of a radio host. But anyway, she posted up something about her the first people she ever followed on Twitter, right? Took a screenshot and posted up, and it's kind of funny, because you realize our Twitter accounts, I'm sure yours, unless you just got into it, are pretty dang old. I mean, way older than our Instagram accounts, because Twitter was around long before that. So, posting up some of the original people I followed, and there's some randoms in there for sure, that I'm still following. Obviously, Robbie Gordon. I've got my brother in there. You've got Jesse James, Larry Fitzgerald, the other Jim Beaver, BJ Baldwin, and then I'm looking, got at Hey Kay Adams. Kay Adams, she used to host a fantasy sports show. Now she kind of bounces around doing some sports broadcasting, but just kind of funny. So if you guys, if you're on Twitter, hit me up at JimBeaver15 and go ahead and tag my buddy Jenna Jones. It's at Jenna Isn't a Bird. Love to see who you originally followed first on Twitter. And that being said, at JimBeaver15, you got any questions today you'd like me to answer? Gonna do a Q&A segment later on in the show. And other than that, man, it was a big weekend for me. I've been lucky enough the past 2 years to be the I guess one of the voices of the UTV World Championship. That was such the case again this year. It was in Laughlin, Nevada. Got to call all the races. Did some live radio out there. I did some live radio out there at the UTV World Championship on Friday with Polaris Razor. And if you missed that show, amazing show. We packed in about 15 guests into a 2-hour segment, the Who's Who of UTV Racing. It was an amazing show, really. 2 solid hours of great radio and interviews. Go back and listen to that. I'm going to re-air the one from Ivan the Ironman Stewart later on in the show today. He's not calling in live. It's going to be a re-air of the one Friday. But seriously, RJ Anderson, Shelby Anderson, Seth Quintero, the youngest Red Bull athlete in history. We had him on air, and just some great interviews. So definitely skip back, check that out. Always let me know what you guys think. But, UTV World Championship, man, oh man, the health of the UTV industry is just phenomenal right now. Manufacturer involvement at such a high level. And the builds that these guys are coming up with to race is they're extremely impressive. I mean, engineered designs. It's not bolt on some shocks and go out and race. I mean, talking purebred race cars. The guys are showing up to race with. It's so impressive. Definitely UTV industry and the racing industry is just exploding. So many people out there, both men and women racing. It was quite cool to be a part of that. Call it for the second year, as well as do some radio with Polaris Razor out there. That being said, had I guess a few surprises. Biggest one, is we had a naturally aspirated car beat the desert cars once again, which, beat the turbo cars once again. And, that's kind of been the thing. It's going to be turbos, it's going to be the NA cars. And, Justin Lambert, the guys from Cognito, another guy I got an interview with there at Contingency on Friday, took the win. He's 4 out of the last 5 Best in the Desert races, and he's literally spanking the turbo guys. Then you had Ryan Laidlaw, brand new build, take second overall and first in turbo. But tell you what, those NA boys specifically Cognito, they definitely have some bragging rights right now. And then rounding out the podiums, we had Kristen Matlock, solid showing by her, 3rd overall and 2nd in production. And then 7th overall, Michael Caffro was 3rd in. It was in 3rd in naturally aspirated turbos. It was Laidlaw, and then Mark Burnett, Dustin Jones, my buddy Brandon Sims, our guest last week. So, solid showing in the desert. And then you get into the production classes, and things got hairy in a hurry. There's so many cars, 103 cars on this, 15, 16-mile course. It's crazy. Mitch Guthrie Jr., my guest here in just a few minutes, he ended up taking the top spot in production turbo. We had Mickey Thomas. He races some Terracross, young gun. He took 2nd overall, 1st in production 1,000. RJ Anderson, he was 2nd in turbo, and he was on the overall podium as well. Cody Raiders, 2nd in 1,000. He was 4th outright. And then Mark Burnett rounded out your top 5. He was 3rd in turbo, and was 3rd in turbo and 5th overall. So there's a ton of results from all kinds of classes. You guys can definitely skip over Best in the Desert's website, bitd.com, get all those. I'm not going to go down through 30 classes today on air. But it was a great event. And then, talking about events, we had Red Bull Snow Boundaries, another one of my guests, Levi Lavallee. He'll be calling in that brand new event up there in Minnesota at Elk River that they're running. Same place that they're going to be running the new Torque race, I believe. So same events park there, laying host to some major motorsports events. But Levi Lavallee coming out on top, and going to be great catching up with him here in about 30 minutes on the show, and finding out his take on on the event. But then Cole Coutu, my buddy Cole, he went up to Dirtfish with Levi and I, raced some Terracross, become a good friend of mine. He finished 5th overall, so other notables. But, some event results floating around out there somewhere with full results. Ditch Banger class, which is basically just the run what you brung local guys. Stacked field there. It's like 150 entries or something. Just had to have been shenanigans on such a short course having that many sleds out there. But sounds like it was definitely a great event. And then the big news rolling out yesterday, well, I guess the past 2 days, my buddy Ken Block. It is Gymkhana 8 time. Gymkhana 8 dropping next week, February 29th at 9 p.m. Pacific. And that is p.m., 9 p.m. Pacific. The 29th. That is next Monday. So I'm working to see if we can get KB on the show. I don't know if it's going to happen quite yet, but definitely working that way, and hopefully we'll be able to get Ken dialed in. I'm sure if we can't do it next week, sometime in the next month or so, we'll be able to get him in. He's always made himself accessible to the show, and definitely part of the Down and Dirty Radio Show family. So you definitely want to be locked and loaded in that. He debuted his livery this week, and I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's like a reflective, I don't want to say glow in the dark, but it's wild. I don't know. It's got to be one of my favorite liveries. I mean, it's always a big deal when he drops his liveries, but this one was definitely solid. So I'm excited to see what they do with it in the filming of Gymkhana. This one going to be in Dubai. We know he spent a couple of weeks over there late last year, so obviously that must have been when they did the filming. He's tied in with X Dubai, so I'm sure having an entire country at his disposal, and especially one Dubai that has definitely made themselves they like stuff like this, let's put it that way. Getting something signed off on in the United States is like pulling teeth. Everybody worried about lawsuits and liabilities in Dubai. They're like, heck, bring it, man. I mean, they're the ones that have zip lines, off skyscrapers and allow guys to base jump off skyscrapers and, everything else, I mean, if you're an action sports fan, Dubai is a place where you want to be because they'll let you get away with just about anything. Here in the States, nah, we like our lawyers and attorneys too much. So definitely looking forward to that drop. It's coming next week, and it's like I talk with RJ Anderson and about XP1K and in the series, and same lays true to Gymkhana and BJ Baldwin's, any of these viral series. It seems like if you're going to do it, everybody wants them to be a yearly thing, and I don't think they need to be yearly. I think they need to be put out when the product is ready and when you can do it right and at a high level. And I think you try and put out something yearly, and it becomes you push to get it out, and sometimes the quality isn't quite there. So definitely looking forward to what KB has up his sleeves. I'm sure he'll be rolling out teasers the rest of the week, but guaranteed it's definitely going to be something special. So not only that, we got some GRC to talk later on. They've had a few announcements, a little bit of score talk, and like I said, we got that Travis Pastrana soundbite. Going to be a fun one today here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We're going to take a short break. When we come out of it, we got Mitch Guthrie Jr. on the line, your 2016 UTV World Champion. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Catching up with my next guest, hanging out on the line, 2016 UTV World Champion, Mitch Guthrie Jr. It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it, Mitch?
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's going to be nice to have that name for a year.
Yeah, it's what Brandon Sims is saying. He's like, you get to carry the title all year long, and like even him, I know he changed like in his social media profiles, UTV World Champ. So it's something you get to plug in your your social media profile for a year, and nobody can take it away, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. I told Joey D after the race, I'm pretty stoked that I could be a champ after winning one big race.
Yeah, right. Well, I know even, talking with Brandon last year, he's like, shoot, that was my, first ever win. And it was, it was one, and I got to call myself world champ. So definitely not an easy one though, man. First off, we gotta talk about the weekend. You had about a big of an emotional roller coaster as I think one human can handle in one day. Yeah. The desert race, you guys were on point. You just pushing hard. You guys had the overall lead, and then coming around to start the last lap, I was standing up there in the booth calling it. All right, here comes Mitch Guthrie Jr. leading, and and then all of a sudden I saw you pull over, and it was right by the hot pit, and I was like, oh man, and I didn't know what it was, and then all of a sudden I see you getting out of the car, and I'm like, oh crap. So kind of take us through that, because you had one heck of a run going, and 90% of the race you had in the bag, and then trouble hit.
Yeah, the race was going really good for us, and it was the perfect race for us, because I wanted to just get all right start off the line. I didn't care about hole shotting or anything. I just wanted to keep the car together mainly and go for a good finish, and it was kind of working out well for us, because we were in about fourth and people started dropping out, and we went up to third and then second, and we were battling with Cognito, and then eventually we were able to catch up to him and get the pass and get the lead there, and we were holding it for a lap, and then we pitted and got gas, and then he got by us. And then the next lap he got gas, and we got back by him and had the lead again. And unfortunately, a little after that, coming into just about coming into our last lap there, we broke both of our rear axles blew out. We're going to tear into the car today, actually, and kind of dissect it and see what went wrong. But I think we had diff problems, rear axles, and just kind of the whole car decided to have some problems the last lap there. So unfortunately, things didn't work out our way.
Yeah, that's definitely when you're begging it for a 9-lap instead of a 10-lap race. I mean, so close. And like you said, I mean, it's crazy about that specific race, because it's a desert race, but it's short, so a lot of people push, but it's so brutal on the equipment, and that course at Laughlin goes away. It's almost like, I think you guys have the perfect game plan. It's just, let's not kill the car to start with and let the race come to us. And and sometimes stuff just doesn't fall your way. But I think you guys had the right game plan. It was just things happen.
Yeah, it's one of those things. That was basically my second desert race ever driving the whole thing. So it's one of those things that I'm still learning how to drive the car and how to be easy on it, because I'm so used to that works racing style where basically you go all or nothing for 45 minutes and hope your car stays together. But this whole desert racing thing, you really have to be careful and let people pass you when you have to. And it's tough for me to let people go by and stuff like that. So it's definitely a whole another thing, and it's a new deal for me. So it's a learning curve for sure, and I think we're starting to get it down though.
Yeah, and that being said, I know, you raced the Parker 250, and then before that, I know you did a few hundred miles at Vegas to Reno, and past that, I mean, how was things at Vegas to Reno? Your very first ever, shot in a car. I mean, how did that go? Because you did a heck of a run. I think it was like 350 miles, right?
Yeah, 370, and it was about a few days before Vegas to Reno. Actually, I got a call, an invite to go race for the supercross team with the Pullmans, and I was like, I might as well do it. You don't really get this shot very often, so I just kind of did an arrive and drive deal with them, and it was really fun, and that's what kind of made me want to go desert racing this year. I drove 370 miles, and when I got in, it was just the time. I had the time of my life driving that long and everything. I think I was in the car for 10 plus hours, but it was just a really fun day, and that's what made me want to go desert racing. I've been doing short course, for the past however many years, and the desert racing style was a whole new thing to me, and I kind of wanted to try something new. So that was really what got me into it.
Yeah. Well, then that being said, you guys went and, and I think you teamed up with Lone Star, built this new Razor, and, how did things go at the Parker 250? I know watching, you were ticking off some pretty good lap times there.
Yeah, Parker was really good for us until the second lap there. I believe it was 270 or 80 mile laps. So the first lap, I think I started 10th or so, and by the first lap, right before I broke, we were able to get in the second on the track, and I believe we were about first overall. But we set fast lap by 15 seconds or so, and it was a really fast track. We had 60 mile an hour average speed actually, so it was a fun one. And unfortunately, going into the second lap, actually, I lost an axle. So we've been having some axle problems, but we were able to get it fixed and get, I believe, the 7th place out of it. And with the UTV World Championship, we were able to get, I believe, a 5th in our class. So even though we've had these problems, it hasn't set us back too bad, and we're still up there in the points. And it's huge because with Best in the Desert this year, they're doing the top 10 out of every race get to start from 1st to 10th. So it's all about getting that good finish and staying in the top 10 every single race.
Yeah. Well, in the Mint 400 up next, I mean, just back-to-back, some big races. I mean, that one, I got to ask. I mean, you're coming off King of the Hammers. I know, your dad, I love your dad to death. He's so humble and, acts like he's not a good driver. And I'm looking at this guy going, who you fooling? You're a multi-time King of the Hammers champion, and he's so humble. But, some of these longer races, Mint 400, and then we've got Vegas to Reno coming up. We're going to see him jump in the car at all?
I know he wants to, but I love driving that thing, and once I get in the car on the start, it's kind of hard to get me out. But he's definitely going to be my backup driver if anything ever happens. So I know he can do it for sure. So we're kind of just going to have to see. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, so I'm kind of hoping to do all the races on my own. But if worst comes to worst, he's going to be hopping in the car, and I know he can hold his own. So that'd be cool to see him in there at some point.
Yeah. Well, that being said, we've talked about the desert program, but, take us through, the short course win because, obviously, that's the one that got you crowned world champ. So, we've got the desert race. Things don't go your way, and it's immediate, quick, about a 30-minute, 45-minute turnaround. Boom, you're in the short course car and going out there. I mean, after that, was it just, just gas on, game on? We know we've got to just pound the crap out of the car. Did you felt like, what was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, it was after the desert race. I was feeling so good through the desert race. That's what sucked breaking at the end there. I thought we really had it in the bag. And going on the short course race, I was pretty tired after the whole desert deal, but it kind of gave me some more drive after that break because I really wanted to win, and to have it taken on the last lap there really sucked. So when I was getting in the car for the short course race, I just remember telling myself it's all or nothing this race. I wasn't going to be easy on the car at all. I was just going to go for it and see what happens. So that's basically what we did, and thankfully I was able to get that whole shot, and that was huge because that track was so dusty, and starting up on the front row and getting the whole shot was huge. And then from the desert race, that was awesome because I was able to know the course really well and get a big lead off the start. And that's what I knew in my head. I knew if I could get a good start and get that whole shot that I could hopefully run away from him, and that's what we did. So it was big knowing the desert race, and the desert race was just huge in the sense of I knew I could go all or nothing and hopefully get the win.
Yeah. Things went away in a hurry for that second short course race, man. From everything I've heard, that course was just brutal. Yeah,
it was. After the desert race, they got a little bit of grading in around the infield area, but everything outside of that was really tough and some big whoops. And I think the big problem was the little chatter bumps, and those are just so hard on you because, the shocks don't soak them up that well. They're just so little, and most of the course had them, so it was just super rough on you. And by the end, it was a tough one for sure.
Yeah. So what's up next for you? Obviously, we've got the Mint 400, but, what are the full plans this year? Are we going to see you back doing some Terracross? We're going to see you any works or short course? What's the plans?
Yeah, for sure we're doing Best in the Desert. We got Mint 400 coming up, and that's our main deal is Best of the Desert series this year. And then we also have Terracross, and those are our two series we're doing for sure. I'll be racing the UTV Underground car and Terracross again. And then from there, it's kind of we can have some fun with it. If we ever have some off time, maybe make it to some works races and see what we can do there. Maybe in the King of the Hammers car again, and just kind of have some fun with it. Maybe see if we can make it to some other different races and just have some fun.
Awesome. Well, I want to congratulate you on the win. Huge victory. Got to feel really good. Two races under your belt, and I guess, it was a short course race that you took the victory in, but a couple of races into the season, to be crowned world champ, got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's huge for me, and it's our first win of this season out of 3 races. So I think it's a good start to the season, and it definitely boosts the confidence and makes me want to get some more wins out of this year.
Got anybody you want to thank before we let you go, buddy?
Oh yeah. Well, for the UTV World Championship, I can't thank Best in the Desert and all those awesome people enough. They were super huge, and UTV Underground for putting it on. All those people are so cool, and I really can't thank them enough for putting on such an awesome event. Mad Media, they're big behind me and helping us out, so can't thank them enough. But also got Walker Evans Shocks, SuperATV.com has been behind us for, I can't even remember how long. We've been running their stuff for a while now, and ITV Tires is new this year on board, and Lone Star, can't thank them enough. They built such an awesome desert car, and it was so cool to have them build it because they've been doing it for so long, and they've got everything so dialed in now. Tire Balls, can't thank them enough. Rugged Radios, PRP Seats, Baja Designs Lights, Southwest Ground Control, Active Screen Printing, and it's huge. Another huge thing is having all the family and friends out at every race. They're like the backbone, of our whole team, and it's so cool to have them come out to every single race.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, my friend, and we will definitely catch up soon, and good luck at the Mid-400.
Thank you very much, Jim. Have a good one.
I'm Polaris rider Levi Lavallee, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi Lavallee to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi Lavallee and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The hotel is waiting, and your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special, starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability, tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome my next guest, one of the big winners of this past weekend, taking the inaugural Red Bull Snow Boundaries win, my good friend Levi Lavallee. How's everything going, Levi?
Oh, it's going great, man. I'm just excited I made it through Snow Boundaries because that was one heck of a race.
I tell you what, I when this whole thing was announced, I don't know, I think it was last year, and then there wasn't enough snow for it, right? I know there was an event you guys were working on, but I started looking at the course map a few months ago, and I'm just looking and going, man, this thing is not going to be easy. I got to tell you, that had to have been one of the toughest races you've ever done.
It most certainly was. That was, I would say, the toughest race I've ever been in. I mean, simply because the track was so rough. Like, it started off, they went through and groomed it right before the Pro Open went out, and I'm not even kidding. By the end of the race, it was so rough. I was literally just trying to avoid all the bumps I could just because I physically wasn't going to be able to hang on any longer if I did. I mean, it was just an insane track, but man, was it just a great experience, out there ripping around. And, like I said, when the course was clean and smooth at first, I mean, what a rip out there. And then as it got rough, it was just trying to avoid the bumps and avoid all the carnage. And it made for a great event.
Yeah, it looked like a great event. I mean, you an event like this is kind of out of the box. I kind of compare it to Red Bull Frozen Rush, where it's, the first year everything's, we'll run it as a one-year event and see how it goes, and then it takes off, and it's like, all right, it becomes a staple on the schedule. So, it looks like this one went well, year number one. It's definitely, hopefully going to be back for, a second year, right?
Yeah, that's what they're planning. I was talking to them, and they have a big laundry list of things they want to change to improve on the event, and they're excited about it. We had a great crowd that came out, and I think there were close to 200 plus racers there. So I mean, it was awesome. The ditch banger class, they had just anyone that that didn't have any racing experience could go in the ditch banger class. So I mean, I was watching guys out there on like old, like mid-90s Polaris sleds out there ripping, and all the way up to new Axis race or new Axis trail sleds and whatnot. And I mean, it was so much fun to see them out there just having a good old time. And I talked to the one guy, and I had to laugh. He said, you know what? He's like, I pulled off on the side of the trail or the side of the track, and I pretended like something was wrong with my belt. So I was working on that just because I was so tired I couldn't hang on anymore, and I felt so dumb. I started laughing. So he, instead of faking an injury, he faked a mechanical.
Needed to catch his breath for a few minutes and then jump back on. Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's
So he said he pulled the side panel off and was tinkering around. He's like, I couldn't hardly take it anymore. I was like, oh, no way.
Oh, that is just classic there. But talking about the event, I mean, obviously this is a bit out of your wheelhouse. I mean, we know you for for snowmobile freestyle and snowcross. I mean, how was this? I mean, how was the training for it?
I'll be honest, I didn't get a lot of training, and I know for sure before next year I'm going to do a little bit more physical training. I was pooped out there, man. I mean, it was an hour and 15 minutes was the pro final, and I tell you what, like about 45 minutes in, I was pretty gassed. So, the biggest thing was just trying to avoid all those bumps. I mean, it got so rough. It was like I just kept on to find smoother lines, and I was taking lots of inside, outside. And I was just kind of running the opposite line of everyone else because it was still smooth. And, it saved a lot of energy and saved on the equipment and stuff. But, the practice for it, I came off of X Games where I sprained my ankle real bad and kind of was laid up there for a couple weeks. And then I went out and I started doing a little trail riding, took my Axis out and started riding with some guys. And so we did some trail riding and whatnot. And I'm like, well, that's about all the riding I can do at this point with the way my ankle feels. So hopefully that's enough. And I got to the race and, wore an ankle brace and believe it or not, it held together. And I'm pretty beat up right now, but I was pretty excited to make it through that entire hour and 15 minutes.
For sure. Well, talking about X Games, I gotta put you on the spot here. Talking X Games a bit, it was just so typical Levi when I see the backflip, in the middle of the race. I'm like, that is so you. But take us through that a bit. I mean, I know you said it was something you've always wanted to do. I mean, how was it to finally throw that down? I gotta say, I think you've got more TV time than any of the winners of any of the events just from that. I mean, and I know that wasn't the way you planned it, but kind of take us through that.
Oh man, I tell you what, I've always wanted to do a backflip in a snowcross race. Travis Pastrana did it on the dirt bike years ago, and I was like, man, once I started the backflip, I thought to myself, like, that'd be so cool to do in a snowcross race. And I don't have too many snowcross races left in me, so I'm like, well, there's a jump that I can flip. I know I can flip that one. I'm going to go for it. So I got out into my heat race. I ripped an awesome hole shot, and then I kind of got bottled up. So I kind of let everyone go, and then I just rode around the track, basically pre-testing the jump and speed checking it. And I speed checked it for 3-4 laps, and then I'm like, yep, I'm going for it right now. And I went for it and over-rotated and missed I over-jumped the landing and kind of landed crooked and landed all on my one leg. And unfortunately, I sprained my ankle real bad. And, so I went in and had x-rays and a CAT scan and all that. And they're like, oh, man, you got bones floating around in your ankle. And I'm like, really? So then I asked him, I'm like, so how long will that be, or how do you fix it? And the guy's like, oh, I don't know, man. And so they sent it to orthopedic surgeon. They sent it to a couple ones, the scans, and the guy's like, oh, those bones, they've been in there for a while. You can tell by the outer edge of them or something. Somehow they could tell if they've been there. So come to find out that I've had these bones floating around my ankle for probably, I started backtracking crashes and injuries. I would say they've been in there for at least 3-4 years now. So the guy goes, you should probably go in and get that cleaned out. And I'm like, well, that was my good ankle. I'm like, I'm going to have him do the other one.
Yeah, it's almost like you got to keep a journal of crashes and stuff, right? Track it back to where it happened.
No kidding.
Oh, geez.
No kidding.
Well, it had to have been pretty tough. I mean, talking about throwing that backflip in the race, I mean, that's something you can't even tease. You can't try and do it in practice or anything because you can't let anybody know it's coming. It's it had to have been a little hairy.
It was a lot of hairy, and it was something that I've always wanted to do. It was on the bucket list. I always wanted to try to do that, and I've been able to do a lot of really cool things in my snowmobile career, and that was one that was always kind of hanging there. So I wanted to do that. The thing that was tough for me was I came in this year feeling pretty good about my freestyle run, and I had a new flip trick, and all my other tricks were pretty dialed in, my practice runs at X were really good. And we had one more practice to go, and unfortunately I banged up my ankle and took myself out. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but like I said to the other guys, I said, well, at least I know I don't have to do another backflip in a snowcross race, so that one's off the list.
Done, checked, and move on to the next thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That being said, we want to talk a little bit, talking some snowcross. I know, obviously you still do X Games, and you're still able to run at a high level, but, how's it been moving in the past couple of years into kind of the team owner role and grooming these guys like Kyle, who he's just killing it this year and doing a wonderful job? I mean, is it still as gratifying for you being team owner and helping these guys progress their career as it was when you were on the sled?
Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoy working with those guys just because it's so funny. Like I've had an amazing career of racing and I've learned so much from so many different people over the years with racing and techniques and these different things, and it's so fun to go and just help Kyle and and Zach and even our grassroots riders that we work with, just helping these guys kind of get over the hurdles that they're at. There's a lot of things in my career that I didn't have anyone to kind of help me through that stuff as far as the riding side of it goes, and so I had to learn everything the hard way, and that's probably why I've had so many injuries. But, you know, that's what's fun for me now is like working with these guys and saying, hey, this is, you know, I've been in that spot. This is what I did to overcome that. And, you know, if you should try it, and a lot of times it works. And if not, they'll try it. And then like, I can see what they're doing, and then we can kind of like come up with a plan. So it's been really fun to, you know, work with the guys and you know, kind of help progress their careers.
Well, and how, you know, that being said, I know, you know, Polaris, the new Axis platform, I mean, how has that been? I know talking with you a while back, you know, the Polaris, you guys had it pretty dialed in because it had been, you know, the same platform for a few years, changing things up now with the Axis platform. I mean, how has this been?
The Axis has been awesome. You know, I haven't heard one guy say a negative thing about it. I mean, it is just on point. And, you know, all of the guys love it. I've been fortunate enough to have it on my freestyle sleds and all the sleds that I've been competing on. And, you know, it just works so good. And the best part is, you know, I go from that on the race sled, and then I get home and I go out on my trail sled. Go out on, I've got a Pro X 137, and the thing is so much fun. Like, I go out ditch banging, and, you know, I like the Pro X because it's got a little bit heavier suspension for jumping and ditch banging and stuff like that. So I go out there, and it's like I can go ripping down the trail, and once we hit the ditches, I can pound the ditches like no other. So it's been really fun, you know, having the new Axis platform on the race sled as well as the trail sled. It's just having something that's so close from what we, you know, from when I get off my race sled to my trail sled. So very cool.
Yeah. That being said, I know, you know, last year you did a bit of Terracross racing. I know I had you up there at Dirtfish Rally School, but, you know, any more four-wheel stuff in the future? You're going to be back in Terracross this year?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do Terracross again this year, and just, you know, keep plugging away at that. You know, I was excited, you know, after Heydays, I had a good run at Heydays. You know, my results weren't exactly where they should have been, but I felt like I was driving pretty strong there. And, you know, I changed up some of the stuff that I was doing in practice, and it seemed to help out. So hopefully this year I can kind of get into it and get some good practice in and kind of get back in the swing of things and you know, get some decent results. You know, it's a hard thing. You know, it's all new to me, and the guys that I'm racing against have been doing it, you know, the better part of their life. So it's, you know, I definitely have some catching up to do, but it's always fun to get out there and kind of battle with guys. And you know, it's always fun getting out with guys like RJ and you know, Mitch Guthrie and those guys that do this, and just see, you know, if you can jump in behind them and kind of see what they're doing, it's amazing to see how good their control is, their throttle and brake control and steering input. And I mean, it really like opens my eyes. Like, man, you got some work to do to get up there with them guys.
Yeah, definitely. It's something I've struggled to pick up, and you know, like you said, there's so much that goes into it. It's just trying to get it all dialed in and figured out. But that being said, we got about 30 seconds left. What's up next for Team Lavalley this year?
Oh gosh, we got the rest of the national races. We got 3 more races to go, and then the one that's really big is we got a big Red Bull event that's coming out here in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. I can't say too much about it, but everyone is going to be pumped on it. It was super, super cool. So other than that, man, I just want to give a shout out to all the fans. Everyone's been blowing me up since Snow Boundaries, and I absolutely love it. You know, the fans are why we do this stuff. So thank you guys so much. And thanks, you know, all our sponsors, Mystic, Loctite, Polaris, Red Bull, Fox, FXR, Earth Inc., Woody's, and everyone else. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you guys all for all the help.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Levi. Always a pleasure, my friend. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks for having me, man.
Always fun having Levi Lavallee on the show. We're going to take a short break. We come back. We got some news coming at you here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Man, killing it with the interviews today. Levi Lavallee, Mitch Guthrie Jr. coming up after the next break. We're going to have Ivan Stewart on here in just a few minutes. But some breaking news this morning. Obviously, touched on Ken Block, but our good friends at Red Bull Global Rallycross announcing some more of their events. Obviously, we heard the one in the Seattle market. It was a toss-up. Where's it going to be? Where's it going to be? They announced it's going to be at Evergreen Speedway. So Formula Drift having a lot of success up there at Evergreen Speedway. Looks like a Red Bull GRC going to throw their hat in the ring. Obviously, Seattle, a great rally market. You got Dirtfish Rally School there. You've got the Olympus Rally. You draw some rally racers from right north of the border in Canada. Ton of rallying going on there. Oregon Trail down the road. You've got Rally Idaho. So I think it's a solid market. Subaru thick there in that area of the country. So definitely a solid market for Red Bull Global Rallycross. That being said, Red Bull GRC also announcing about a week or so back, they're around in Dallas, Texas, with venue and everything else. And I got to tell you, man, that's going to be one heck of a weekend for Action Motorsports. You've got X Games. You've got Red Bull Global Rallycross. You've got Stadium Super Trucks in Detroit. You've got Formula Drift in Florida. You've got Rally America in Pennsylvania. I mean, and the Baja 500. 6 events, one weekend. You want to talk shenanigans? There you go. It's going down that weekend, first weekend in June, man. It's going to be a wild one. If you are an Action Motorsports fan, hands down. So, we are going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be previewing hour number 2. I'm Polaris driver Jim Beaver. I host the Down and Dirty radio show, travel the country announcing motorsports events, and I compete against some of the toughest drivers in the world in my number 15 trick truck in the Best in the Desert Championship. I know what it takes to survive Baja and races like the Mint 400 or Vegas to Reno, and that is reliability. When I choose to train, pre-run, or just take my family out to the desert or dunes on the weekend, I trust Polaris RZR products exclusively. I need the absolute best performing vehicles that I know will get me back safe, fast, and without any problems. The only vehicle on the market that I know will do this is the Polaris RZR. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Man, coming up, we've got another stacked guest lineup for hour number 2, and one guest. That's right, I'm flying solo this hour, as we said before. My partner in crime, Amy Houde, she is out sick today. Definitely a bummer. Always miss her. Can't say always miss her. This is the first time she's missed one. But, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Ivan, the Ironman Stewart, coming up after this next break, and I don't think it gets much bigger than that. Also, we got Supercross. We're going to be dissecting that, and then we've got some sound bites from Travis Pastrana. Huge mega announcement last week from Travis Pastrana, pretty much a career direction change for Travis Pastrana, and we are going to have that sound bite as well coming up in this hour. So, man, it's going to be a wild one. Not only that, Score announcing that they are canceling a race this season. 5 races, they're going down to 4. Obviously, San Felipe coming up this coming weekend, the San Felipe 250 in San Felipe, Mexico. But Score announcing that Baja Sur, the second annual Baja Sur 500, the one that's run in southern Baja, it is canceled, off the calendar, off the grid. It is no more. So, definitely not good for Score International. There's a lot of he said, she said at this point. Baja blaming Score blaming Baja. I'm sure there's, like we said, there's he said, she said, and the truth, which is probably the case here. But one way or another, not good, to see a desert racing event dropped. As we all know, once an event goes off the calendar, very, very tough to get it back on the calendar. And, that's not just with off-road. That's with motorsports in general. So not a good thing. But, from the looks of things, San Felipe 250 this weekend, that's one of those off-road desert racing events that's been around for a long, long, long time. And, it sounds like, it's going to be a solid event down there. A lot of locals show up for that one to race. A lot of regional races in Baja, as far as off-road goes, and they always show up for the San Felipe 250. Not only that, but, you draw some of the top drivers in the states that want to go down there. Great vacation town there in San Felipe, spring break. A little early for spring break, but, may have some early partiers down there, but always a solid event. And we'll definitely have full coverage, hopefully maybe some winners on air next week as well. But, that is the latest from Score International. So we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be airing an interview with Ivan, the Ironman Stewart, right here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Got any questions? At JimBeaver15, hit me up, and we'll be back. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further further than Polaris in their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, rocking and rolling here. We are in hour number 2, your favorite action motorsports radio show. And right now I'd like to cut to an interview I did with Ivan Stewart last Friday out at the UTV World Championship, talking about his career direction, some of the stuff he's got up his sleeve. So we're going to cut to that interview right now. Jim Beaver here in Laughlin, Nevada, and we've got a stacked guest list today here at the Polaris RZR compound. But instead of me giving you a preview of the weekend, we're jumping right into things. Sitting to my left, Ivan the Ironman Stewart. How is everything going, Ivan? You got some big news breaking out here today.
Yeah, we do, Jim. We're, I'm doing what I do, go to the races once in a while. I just came back from Mexico yesterday. But, yeah, we're introducing a new GMZ RZR tire, or UTV tire, rather. So, yeah, that's exciting. An Ivan Ironman Stewart edition tire for off-road racing or off-roading as far as that goes.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be pretty big for you. I mean, obviously, everybody knows your accolades and, in off-road, both short course and desert racing. But, I can't really say retirement because I think you're just as busy as you ever were. But you jumped in with both feet into the UTV movement.
I really did. I see a lot of potential. Dan Matar, my friend who I've known for years, went to the dealer meeting back east, in the Polaris dealer meeting they had a couple years ago, and 2 or 3 years ago, and I was thoroughly impressed. I see a lot of potential, and Dan sees potential, and so we got so excited about it. We opened a store in downtown San Diego, and so yeah, I'm jumped in feet first, as I always do everything.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I mean, I know, I've seen a few signature products now, but tell us a little bit about this tire. I mean, for you to stamp your name on a tire, it's got to be a darn good tire. I mean, tell us a little bit about this GMZ. I mean, I know of the brand. They've been around, UTV racing, for quite some time, and, solid product. Tell us a little bit about this tire, because I know you had a hand in developing it.
Well, we knew that GMZ was had a great name and brand, as you mentioned, So we just came up with the design of a tire, and all the experience that I've had over the years with some of the other bigger manufacturers and truck racing tires. I did all of the testing and development testing for a lot of the big companies over the years. So I had a lot of knowledge, and what I thought was going to be a tire that was going to be durable enough. And as you know as well as I do, there's just the fact that the tire doesn't go flat is a huge plus. So I feel that we developed a tire that's not going to go flat. The other is that it's going to have the side bite, the forward bite, braking abilities, and all these things as we have to have. So the proof will be in the pudding, as we say, Jim. So we build a tire. We think we put everything into it, our heart and soul, and all the information we could get from engineers and myself and Dan Matar, and we go racing, and that'll we'll see what happens. So I feel it's going to be a great tire, and the main thing is I don't want it to go flat, and I know it's going to have the durability that we need.
Yeah. So you guys are rolling that out here. I mean, making the announcement today here at the UTV World Championship. What's going to be the availability on this tire? I mean, sure, as soon as word gets out there, it's going to spread like wildfire. People are going to be lined up to buy this.
Well, we just talked about that this morning, and there's a, that's the whole thing. And I mean, it's, shipping and when it's coming and where it's supposed to leave and all those things. I really can't answer you. 2 to 3 weeks is what we're really shooting for.
Well, that's pretty quick. A lot of companies make an announcement, and it's 2 to 3 to 6 months, 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, that's really quick. I mean, you guys are on top of things.
They are, really. We had some conversations this morning with GMZ, and they feel confident. 3 weeks, always hitches and get-alongs can happen in the industry especially in the tire business, but we feel pretty confident.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I mean, I know obviously you've got obviously a Razor tire now or a UTV tire. You've got Polaris dealership. What's how often are you out in one of these Razors? I know you've got to have one stuffed in the garage. Go out and play a little bit.
Well, Dan Matar, my business partner, has a big piece of property. I go up there and we have a great event. Annually, we're putting this event together where people can come up and drive a Razor and actually ride with me. And I try and give them some of my driving tips, and that's been very popular. He's doing an event next weekend where people can actually come up and drive on this new Ironman Stewart tire on his piece of property in San Diego. So, yeah, that's all being a part of those things, and the excitement for me is to stay involved, and we're coming out with more and more products all the time. Dan wants to come out with a whole line of Ironman Stewart products that we'll be announcing as we move along throughout the year. But, a lot of things are in the works.
Yeah.
And like I say, it keeps me involved in the sport. It keeps me seeing the people like you, for example, and I want to see your dad one of these days out here. So it keeps me involved, and it's exciting to watch the sport, and I can relate to it, and the kids and everything, just like you can, how great it is.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, I mean, you've been in and around the sport. I mean, how have you seen this sport evolve, in the past 10 to 15 years? I mean, you were there, and, it's such an elite level, when Trophy Truck came about and Salfish kind of brought it to the forefront, and your accolades are second to none. I mean, that being said, I mean, we're seeing 50-car deep trophy truck fields at this point. I mean, it's got pretty wild.
Incredible, isn't it? But what's really cool about the UTV market and the racing and the competition and everything that goes with it, because not everybody races, as you know, but you have to have people out there pitting. So we're I call it addicting a new generation of off-roaders, and where they can go out and buy a UTV right off the showroom, and it's pretty, as you know, darn dependable. It's got durability, it's got proven, it's got great suspension, it's got ride quality, great seats, great lights, and if not, you can go out and buy these accessories where you and your dad and I had to develop all this stuff. So we were developing shocks during those. Now they just take advantage of what we've done over the years. So turnkey, buy a Razor, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the truth. I mean, you go out and you drive one of these XP1000 or XP turbos, and I drive it in the braking and the suspension and the acceleration. I go, man, it's like driving a mini trophy truck.
For $20-25 grand. Now you want to go out and get a trophy truck? What's that going to cost you?
Yeah, at least 10 times that.
At least 10 times. So that's what's so great about it, is that we're introducing more people to stay in the off-road industry and racing. Like I say, if not racing, maybe it's pitting or getting involved or prepping or something. All those different ways you can get involved in racing.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, it's great to see you out here. I know, staying busy, doing a few interviews, but congratulations on the new tire and, and everything. It sounds like, you're having, life is treating you well.
Life's good. I have a fantastic life, and I tell people all the time the memories that I've had over the years, and racing, racing's my, the cornerstone of Ivan Stewart is the off-road racing, but I'm really fortunate I still got my health and my friends, and still ride a motorcycle and do a little off-roading, and so I'm doing fine.
Any itch to do like the NOR 1000 or something like that, you know?
You know, not really. You know, a lot of people have asked me, and I think that, you know, to do those races, you have to have a burning desire. I mean, and I don't. I have a house in Mexico, so I get quite a bit of off-roading, and, you know, I just got other interests right now. You know, it changes. We talked about earlier, you know, your life changes, and, you know, I love it. I mean, I like to go out and explore in Mexico, but the racing end of it is just, I've been there, done that, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't think there's anything left for you to accomplish. You know, you left it on a high note, and, you know, you're running at such an elite level when you stepped away. I don't think there's much more there, you know?
And that's the other part of the equation that some people understand, and not everybody, is the fact that when I driving for Toyota, there wasn't anybody that was doing more development work and had better pits and better team than Cal Wells at PPI, and to be a part of that, anything I did now, I'd have to come back a level or two. And I really don't want to go backwards.
Yeah.
You can understand that.
I can totally understand that. Well, I thank you for your time, Ivan. I know, you know, you're bouncing around here. Beautiful weather out here, but, you know, congratulations on the new tire, and looking forward to seeing it out there in the desert.
Great. Well, hopefully we can get a winner tomorrow. We got 3 or 4 vehicles with the tires, so that'll be the next thing.
Yeah, for sure. You know?
I really appreciate you having me on the show, Jim.
All right, thanks. I know we'll have to do it again soon. Get you on the weekly show and talk a little more in depth about things.
Anytime. I do a call-in, too, by the way.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ivan. Always great catching up with Ivan the Ironman Stewart. That was last Friday out there at the Polaris RZR UTV World Championship. And Ivan, man, he is definitely both feet into the UTV market. He's got his own UTV dealership, you know, signature lines of products, you know, and I've had the opportunity to interview him a couple times now, and we are definitely here in the next month going to dial him in and do a longer interview and you know, kind of talk about his career and things like that. I definitely it'll be a good interview when we finally able to nail that down and get it knocked out. But Ivan, just a class act, and you know, if you ever get the opportunity to talk to him, loves talking with the fans and you know, and the stories, man. That guy can bench race with the best of them. So, you know, guy I've got a ton of respect for. My dad banged doors with him for some 25, 30 years. And, you know, definitely a guy that you know, I'm lucky enough to call a friend. So we're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. We come back, we're going to be talking a little Travis Pastrana and his big announcement that he made this past week. So you don't want to miss that here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris driver Jim Beaver. I host the Down and Dirty Radio Show, travel the country announcing motorsports events, and I compete against some of the toughest drivers in the world in my number 15 trick truck in the Best in the Desert Championship. I know what it takes to survive Baja and races like the Mint 400 or Vegas to Reno, and that is reliability. When I choose to train, pre-run, or just take my family out to the desert or dunes on the weekend, I trust Polaris RZR products exclusively. I need the absolute best performing vehicles that I know will get me back safe, fast, and without any problems. The only vehicle on the market that I know will do this is the Polaris RZR. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And man, we've had our fair share of epic guests today. I have in the Ironman Stewart, living legend, Hall of Famer. Levi Lavallee, another living legend, and coming off that big Snow Boundaries win. Mitch Guthrie Jr. Taking home that UTV World Championship title. So, man, we've been locked and loaded. And speaking of legends, the legend Travis Pastrana had a huge announcement last week, and he's actually parting ways with Red Bull. So many ramifications to this, so huge. I've got the YouTube video up, so we're going to play the clip, a clip of that, them making the Travis Pastrana announcement at Nitro Circus, and then we'll kind of dissect it afterwards. But just an announcement with huge ramifications, that the trickle-down effect is going to be huge out of this. So definitely listen to this clip, and then we'll dissect it here in a minute.
When we started Nitro Circus almost 13 years ago, we had 3 employees, and I was shipping DVDs out of the garage of my house. But a lot has changed since then. I have an announcement that I'm very excited to make to you all, but it's going to require Travis, you to come on up here. Hey, boy, thank you, kid. Yeah. So, as you guys know, Travis is not only a founder, but he's our ringleader. We have wanted from the beginning to have Travis as a fully branded Nitro Circus athlete because it feels right to us. So, Travis, I'd like to present to you your new crown as a Nitro Circus branded athlete.
Red Bull truly did give me the wings to make a living doing what I absolutely love to do. And thanks to you guys, we're able to travel the world with our best friends, make this a family, and turned our hobby into a job, into a company that can do everything for us that the biggest companies in the world can do. I just want to thank all of you guys for giving us the opportunity. We've evolved, we moved on, and it's awesome. Thank you guys for this, and all the kids coming up can look to this as something to aspire to, and hopefully we keep growing from here. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was just huge announcement. There's more to the video, and you guys can definitely check that out. It's Nitro Circus's YouTube channel. Credit to them letting us air that here on the show. But yeah, Travis Pastrana. Dropping Red Bull. I don't want to say dropping Red Bull. Red Bull and him, have been synonymous together. I look back and what was it, Long Beach Harbor when he jumped the car over the harbor at, New Year's No Limits. And, Travis would be the first to tell you, I'm sure, that, what they've been able to do for him and help him accomplish. They were one of the original backers of Nitro Circus, in the tours. I remember the ramps, with Red Bull all over it. But I take away 2 things from this. One, I think it's absolutely amazing that Travis has grown this company kind of by accident. It just started out with Godfrey's and making some, I don't want to say stupid videos, but some videos online. Literally, it was just them making some videos online, and and growing this company. From there it went to more videos and TV shows, and then tours. And an apparel line. And now, you think action sports, you think Nitro Circus. Now they've got an X Games rival that, to be honest with you, might be bigger than X Games. I mean, Travis is doing things right, but he's created this action sports company that, to be honest with you, it's the biggest action sports company in the world. That's strictly dedicated to that. And obviously Red Bull been a huge part of paying him, top dollar to go out and do these things. I mean, they sponsored his rally programs, his Red Bull GRC team with Dodge. It's been huge what they've helped Travis accomplish. But I take away two things. Now Nitro Circus got to the point where Travis can step away from Red Bull, and Nitro Circus can fully support itself and sponsor Travis, so Travis can be a brand ambassador for this brand that he helped build. Wear the helmet and and wear the hat, and even in that video, he says, "Man, this is the first time I've been head to toe in something other than Red Bull." He always had the hat or the helmet or something. So I think it's great that it's grown to that they can support it. Sounds like they're going to run it as an action sports company, much like Red Bull, and that they're going to take athletes on. And you can be a Nitro Circus branded athlete, wear the hat, the helmet, the whole works. So I think that's his way of giving back. I think that's really cool. Looking forward to seeing that evolve. But the second thing is I look at it this way. Travis was, I have no idea what it costs to be involved with Travis Pastrana. I know what it costs to be involved with athletes, maybe not quite as high as his, maybe not quite at his level, of exposure, but I know what it costs to be involved with athletes, that are at the pinnacle, and it's very, very 7 figures at a minimum expensive, right? So I look at Travis Pastrana and go, okay, he stepped away from Red Bull. Now all of a sudden, let's say there's 7 figures worth of budget, minimum of 7 figures worth of budget available. Red Bull can take that and they can reinvest it into these young athletes, the Seth Quinteros of the world, that I was able to, interview out there at the UTV World Championship. But these young kids that are, 17, 18, 19 years old that are killing it in their field, and they need sponsorship. They're the future. Travis, we all need sponsorship, but did Travis, he didn't have to have it. I think it was just icing on the cake at this point in his career. And I think I'm sure this was mutually good terms. I know Travis and everybody he's ever worked with. I mean, he's always all smiles, and he never leaves a bad taste in anyone's mouth. So I'm sure that this was something that everybody knew was coming for a while, and it wasn't like it was out of left field to Red Bull. And I'm sure they've been working towards this. But I just look at the future. I mean, Nitro Circus now has Travis as an ambassador. They can help sponsor kids and bring them up as a Nitro Circus athlete. Red Bull has a huge amount of budget that is now available. They can reinvest it in the next generation of stars. I see this as a win-win for everyone. I mean, I guess if you're a huge Red Bull fan, it definitely sucks to see Travis go. But I don't think he's not going to do, the stunts and the stuff that you've always seen him do, when he was aligned with Red Bull. I think it's now just going to be Nitro Circus branded, which, to be honest with you, is what's been happening anyways. I mean, you see him investing money into these, triple flips, Sheeney's triple flip and things like that. And, and that was all Nitro Circus and Pastrana. That wasn't Red Bull. And, so I see this as a win all the way around. Tip of the cap to Travis. I mean, I know what it's like to grow a brand, and obviously, this brand you're listening to right now is nowhere near Nitro Circus levels, but I understand reinvesting in your brand and wearing the hat, and I've been that way. You've got to protect your brand and do what you think's best for it, and I think that's what Travis is doing. And and you're seeing you're seeing him grow that, and I think I think that's absolutely huge. I think this is going to have a positive impact on action sports culture. And to me, I see it. I think this is the ultimate statement when an entrepreneur, and that's what Travis is with the Nitro Circus brand, when they can quit their day job and go completely all in to that new brand and make a living at it, and for Travis Pastrana's life to be sustainable, Nitro Circus, Nitro Circus is doing very well because, he lives life to its fullest, and, and his projects and everything that Travis does, costs money, not to say that he's frivolous. He's not a Floyd Mayweather. Travis, you see him in sneakers and a flannel t-shirt, he doesn't drive exotic cars and exuberant cars. I mean, he's got some WRX STIs sitting around, and, I just see, I see this as a very big deal that Nitro Circus is to that point, then it can fully support Travis and and his projects, and they no longer need that Red Bull income. So that's my take on things. I think it's huge, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Red Bull does now with this excess budget, and and the young guns and the new rippers that they bring in. I think it's definitely going to be a very big deal, and I'm looking forward to watching this this evolve. I think 2017 is going to be a huge year. 2016, obviously, it's going to be a big year as well. But I think you're really going to start seeing this stuff, happen in 2017. Especially, 2017 will be year 2 of this new Nitro Circus games. I think 2017 is the year, but 2016 is going to be a big year for action sports, no doubt. And there was a down. You've got roller coasters in sports and different things, and ups and downs. And I think, I definitely think action sports is on the climb once again. Skateboarding is definitely at a high level. I see, the evolution of BMX, things kind of coming back, and I think, Travis Pastrana, gosh, he's the first guy to embrace scooters, for God's sake. It's, scooters is one of those things. You go to the local skate park and everybody, oh, man, the skaters and the bikers are like, oh, man, get those things out of here. Pastrana's like, no, these guys are ripping, man. We're all in with the scooter movement, and I see stuff like that and go, that Travis doesn't care. If you're ripping, he doesn't care what it's on, he's all in with it. So, props to him. I think, he's bringing back, he's bringing in these athletes that are killing it. Doesn't care what you're killing it on as long as you're doing it. And it's definitely a very good thing. So props to Travis Pastrana, everyone at Nitro Circus. I know they're on tour, in Europe right now. It sounds like they're due back here. They got a North American tour they're going to kick off here, I think, late spring, summer. It's definitely a good time to be a Travis Pastrana and Nitro Circus fan, and props to Travis for everything that he has been able to accomplish. So we're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, and when we come back, it is all Supercross all the time.
I'm Polaris rider Levi Lavallee, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi Lavallee to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi Lavallee and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The hotel is waiting. And your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability, tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and another week, another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and man, it's been a fun one today, flying solo without my partner in crime, Amy Houde. I'm going to lock it down, though, this next segment and talk a little supercross without her. Definitely won't be the same. She's the supercross expert. That is for darn sure. Definitely isn't me. I like to watch some supercross here or there. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to watch this weekend too much. Kind of skimmed through the DVR to watch a bit as I could, but definitely didn't get a chance to watch as much as I wanted because I was calling the UTV World Championship race. So, it was a little skimming through the DVR. Had to do that and had to catch up on some Walking Dead. Those of you know me know I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. And, had two in the hopper on the DVR Sunday night. So, two Walking Deads. I don't know if I've ever had that. Generally, as soon as it hits a DVR, boom, I watch it that night. Boom, watch it that night. And, man, I've just had so much stuff going. Two. It's like unheard of for me. Two Walking Dead. So, I don't know. Any of you out there Walking Dead fan? I know Corey Weller is. I know we had her on air a year or so ago. And, shoot, her and I talked Walking Dead for quite some time. So, I don't know. The series definitely taking a different direction this year. I'm kind of digging it, though. Sometimes it seems like I don't want to say the series ever gets stale, but definitely I'm digging this. Not this season, but the first two episodes I guess the start of the second half of the season. I don't know. It's weird the way they do it and split it apart, but there you go. I don't know. It's not like in radio you can take. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but there you go. Talking Walking Dead on a motorsports show, but hey, I got to figure out how I'm going to survive this. The zombie apocalypse. So, just give me an all-wheel drive Subaru, man. We will be dialed in to survive the apocalypse. That and a lot of automatic weapons and my Subaru, and boom, we're on point. So, there you go. You ask my co, she can have a dirt bike. I don't want a dirt bike in the apocalypse. Forget that, man. Those things can grab at you too easy. I want some metal protecting me. I want my Subaru. But there you go. You never know what direction we're going to go on this show. That being said, I've been getting a lot of I had a lot of people come up to me at the UTV World Championship, and I get messages on social media, and everybody wants to know my plans for this year. What are your plans? What are your plans? What are you racing? And specifically the UTV community. Hey, man, how come you're not out here? This is UTV World Championship. Where when are you racing? How come you're not out here? How come you don't have a race UTV and this and that? And so, I don't want to say let the cat out of the bag, but here goes. Obviously, it's going to be an interesting year for me. I'm going to be bouncing around doing a bit of everything, racing the trophy truck. We've got locked in with General Tire to do some races with that this year. Obviously, we'll be at the Mint 400 here in a couple of weeks. We were at the Park 425. A few weeks back, had a solid finish there. Definitely transmission issues hurt things, but so we'll be running that this year. Not the full Best in the Desert schedule, but I know we got a couple more races, including the Mint 400. We're going to be doing in that this year. Oh man, I gotta check this tweet. I only saw half of it pop up on the screen, but we got our listeners here. My good friend Charlie Bravo over there from the other side of the pond. Whenever I think when I hear Walking Dead, I think being dragged around by their partners to go shoe shopping. Oh man, isn't that the truth? I don't know. It's either that shoe shopping or Bath and Body Works or Victoria's Secret. I can't stand any of them. And most guys are like, oh yeah, Victoria's Secret. Yeah, I love it. I'll take my wife there and this and that. Bull. You and I both know Victoria's Secret's the biggest sham. Women just like their sweats, man. It's a bunch of crap. I agree with you, Charlie. It's Walking Dead. I think being dragged around the shopping mall. I got you there, buddy. I'm feeling it. But yeah, Victoria's Secret. It's a big sham. They send them catalogs in the mail, and guys get all excited. Bull. All the women ever do is buy the darn sweats from Victoria's Secret. And that's the truth. I don't even know what we were talking about. Oh yeah, my racing plans this year. I told you we get sidetracked on this show a ton, but that's what makes it fun. You never know what's going to pop up. But talking about my plans this year. So yeah, I got some trophy truck races we'll be doing. I know I will be racing the Terracross Championship this year, and you may hear me on the TV a little bit on CBS Sports calling the races there as well. So I will be doing some Terracross racing. Don't know what division. They're going to have multiple divisions this year. They're going to have multiple divisions this year in the Terracross Championship, from what I understand. And I don't know which one I'll be in. Heard like 2 or 3 different men's divisions, and then obviously the women's division is going to be stacked this year. So I will be in one of the men's divisions, obviously. Not going to let me run in the women's division, but I will be racing Terracross, pretty much the full counter unless there's some crazy conflict, but as far as I know, there's not going to be doing some trophy truck stuff. And then I do have some projects working with Polaris RZR that may include at some point in time some desert racing in a turbo RZR, but nothing set in stone yet. It's kind of, we've had some talks about stuff, so I know it is my goal next year to definitely have something to race at the UTV World Championship, even if I got to beg, borrow, and steal to go and do it. So there you go. But I do have some plans to do some RZR racing in the desert, but nothing set in stone yet. Kind of wait and see. So you guys will definitely want to be staying tuned for that. But we'll be doing something eventually there. But yeah, a lot of trophy truck racing, some Terracross this year. I don't know. I've every once in a while an opportunity pops up to do some stage rally as well, and the right opportunity hasn't popped up yet. I have had some opportunities that I haven't taken, but when the right opportunity does, I do want to do some stage rallies. Absolutely, 100% for sure. So that's always in the bag as well. But you never know. It's could be in a Subaru at some point this year, right? No, don't even run with that, because there's no way I'm getting in a factory Subaru. I'm talking, some old 20-year-old Subaru. I'll be banging around. You don't want me in one of those nice ones. So you don't want me in Higgins' car. Trust me, it'll be a train wreck and a half. So there you go. I guess now that I've rambled on for half of this segment on a whole lot of nothing, if you ever want to shoot me your questions or ask me questions or mail me something, I know definitely got I've got some mailings I got to send out to some fans, but shoot me a tweet at JimBeaver15 or use the website contact form or DM me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm accessible on all of them, but love having your fan questions. If I like them, I'll answer them on the show. But sometimes, if it's something personal and you just need advice on something, whatever. I get a lot of that too. I do my best to help you out. Shoot me those DMs, and you need an autograph, stickers, whatever. I can always send those out as well. So shoot me your contact info, and we'll get them dialed in. But Supercross happening this weekend. I guess we need to get to that at some point and talk some Supercross, right? So I don't know. We're kind of. I'm gonna have to look here. What do we got here? We're kind of at the midway point of the season, right? I don't know. We're how many rounds deep? I love the Supercross site because they got pictures of all the tracks. It's awesome. So we're around 7 of 17. I guess about a third of the way through. Not quite a third, a little over a third, but. We got done with Arlington, Texas, which was a cool, super cool track. Looking at the one at Atlanta at the Georgia Dome coming up, and man, it's pretty wild, man. It's really wild, actually. Long opening straight, and then some ridiculous rhythm sections. I mean, ridiculous rhythm sections and whoop sections. That coming up this weekend in Atlanta. But I'm just looking at the tracks, and like we said before, I applaud the people at Supercross this year because they did a phenomenal job designing the tracks, all out of the box, something like we haven't had before for sure. It's definitely been a big change from years past, and I think that was needed. Some of the tracks, to be honest with you, I was kind of getting stale with them. I'm a big Supercross fan, but that's just kind of my feeling on things. So we got Atlanta coming up, and we got 250 East in action, but we gotta get to some results from this past weekend, and there you go. We thought Dungey, he was stepping his game up, and thought he was just going to absolutely run away with things. And here comes Kenny Roczen, and he's stepping up his game as well. So you never know what can happen in Supercross. Kenny Roczen taking the victory, got the whole shot, led at 19 laps. Dungey leading one. Ended up second, but Roczen 19 laps and a whole shot. Solid effort by Ken Roczen. This is what we were hoping, man. Somebody emerged as a challenger to Dungey, but you got Anderson still hanging around there as well, finishing up in third, having a phenomenal year on the Husqvarna this year. Cole Seeley, he was right in there, and Eli Tomac rounding out your top 5. Chad Reed, tough one down there in 12th. He's kind of in that hunt as well. And then you got Davey Millsaps. Just, I don't know. We don't know what to think of Davey. I mean, he has some good starts, falls back. He's just, seems like he's, I don't want to say a mid-pack guy, but he's just right outside of the top 5 this year. He just doesn't quite have it. Marvin Muskeen, he's sitting in there in 6th. Rookie season on a 450, but I don't know what to think about Davey. And then Chad Reed, he's had a couple of I don't want to say rough goes, but things just he's just he seems like he's not on the pace he was earlier on this year. It's just you never know. Teething pains, right? Teething pains. But looking at the points in the 450s right now. Looking at those points, and Ryan Dungey, got a bit of a lead over Roczen. Roczen, that win definitely helped him narrow, but Roczen really to make a run at it needs Dungey to finish, 3rd, 4th, 5th instead of 2nd. If he's really going to narrow that gap, even when Dungey loses, he's still podiuming him, and it's definitely going to make it tough. And you can't leave Jason Anderson out. Something could happen. 131 points, only a few back from Roczen, and still within striking distance of Dungey if something was to happen. Then you got Seeley, Tomac, Reed run out your top 6 on the 450s. And then moving over, talking some 250 results. And once again, Cooper Webb taking that victory. But Christian Craig getting a whole shot, leading some laps. And, he was right there in 2nd. Solid effort by him this year. Can't argue with that. Zach Osborne, Colt Nichols, and Mitchell Oldenburg rounding out your top 5. Looking at the points standings. And Cooper Webb, man, he is just I don't know. I can't say way out front anymore. He's got an 11-point lead over Joey Savacci. I got Christian Craig there. Solid effort by him, sitting in 3rd. Colt Nichols and Zach Osborne rounding out your top 5. So definitely it's definitely been an interesting season so far. Guys jump out there. It's like a bunch of miniature hot streaks. It's the easiest way to put it. A bunch of miniature hot streaks. They'll get hot and then get cold really quick. And Dungey's just he's got hot, but he's also been super consistent when he's cold. And still taking podiums, and I think that's why you see him where he's at. But Atlanta coming up this weekend, Atlanta Supercross, and moving on to the East Series. So, 250 is going to get a shot in the arm. We're going to start all over with the 250s with a new group of riders. So, definitely looking forward to see who emerges as the hot shoe as we move east. So, kind of looking forward to that. Home stretch for the 450s or the middle stretch of the season. So, definitely be tuned in to that. We're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. We're going to wrap things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
I'm Polaris rider Levi Lavallee, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi Lavallee to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi Lavallee and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Wrapping things up here with another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and man, been a fun one so far. I guess it's been a fun one today. Period. Mitch Guthrie Jr., your UTV World Champ on air. Definitely an awesome interview there, as well as Levi Lavallee, my buddy Levi, coming away with a Snow Boundaries win. And then talking some Travis Pastrana. We had Ivan the Ironman Stewart. man, all in all, I don't know if it gets much better than that as far as guest lineup goes. Obviously, my partner in crime, she was out sick today. Definitely missed her. She'll be back next week for sure. Coming up this weekend, we got the San Felipe 250 on tap. Also some more supercross from Atlanta. X Games Oslo. Nothing with an engine, this weekend in Oslo, but definitely X Games still on point from Oslo over there in Europe. So definitely, if you're an action sports fan, be tuned into that. Got some snowcross coming up. Mint 400 coming up, the big one. So, we're definitely going to start getting a lot of interviews, in and around, the Mint 400 coming up here on the show very, very soon. And I know Miss Mint voting is out there as well. So definitely go to themint400.com and, get your votes in for the lady of your choice. We're going to get last year's Miss Mint on air at some point in time. Don't forget, Amy Houde also ran for that last year. She was a finalist. So, lots coming up here on the show. Don't forget, Ken Block got his big blockbuster Gymkhana 8 dropping the 29th, 9 p.m. Pacific. So we'll be breaking that down next week on air as well. And hopefully have a guest in and around Hoonigan Racing on the show as well. But, I got to thank Polaris Razor, Subaru, General Tire, Dirtfish Rally School, Blue Water Resort and Casino, KC Highlights, MTX Audio, and Gibson Exhaust. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/DownAndDirtyShow or DownAndDirtyShow.com for all your back episodes. Give Amy Houde a follow at AmyHoude71 on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget to download our app, available on Google Play, Apple iTunes, and the Amazon Kindle Store. It has been another great episode here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Appreciate all you for listening in each and every week. And be safe as always, and we'll see you next week. Game on.